Legend says the sword can only be retrieved by a knight when the world is in peril.
I've got big shoes to fill, but I'll protect the world like my mother and father.
Now you're talking! That's why you're my #1 subordinate!
It will be a long and difficult journey, but you must persevere for the sake of the world.
What's going on, guys? My name is Fab. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be playing something a little different. We're going to be playing Secret of Mana. So I've had this game now for a couple weeks, okay, since the day of its release, and I haven't had a chance to get to play it. I was trying to find the right moment for it, and I just realized there was no right moment for it. The reason for that is because this game means a lot, just because it was one of those games when I was a kid. I bought it the day of its release and finished it and enjoyed the game so much that it stayed up here just as a good movie or a very good book. And everybody that enjoys RPGs knows that Secret of Mana has been one of these golden games back in the day, alongside Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VII. So obviously it's got a few years. It's over 20 years now that this game came out, but to this day I still believe that this game is amazing. Now, since I was a kid, I didn't get a chance to play it all over again. Don't get me wrong, I've played on emulators just because I was excited of seeing the game all over again, but I never got to start it and finish it all over. So there's been a lot of controversy about this game, guys. A lot of people have been saying that it wasn't a good idea to remaster it, or some people said that it was a good idea to remaster it, but they did a horrible job doing it. I might not be the most subjective person to talk about this, because I love this game a lot, but I'll probably be the most honest one about it. Now, a lot of people just like to criticize a lot, and no matter what you give them, they'll always criticize it and never be happy with it. This game, I believe, could not be redone to a point that it gets rid of the core of the game. And if they would have redone the whole thing, people would have said that they butchered the game by redoing it completely. So what Square Enix did was just remaster it with, you know, slightly better graphics that are just enjoyable to watch these days. Now, don't get me wrong, these are not PS4 graphics. They're more like a PS2 graphics, but who cares? It's still pretty to me. The game now has voices, so the characters, you hear their voices, which is, to me, it's great. You know, it's not maybe the greatest actors, but who cares again? You know, it doesn't hurt the game. It's not something that hurts the game. Nothing that was added to this remastered version, to me, has hurt the game. They changed the audio, I mean the soundtrack, but the good thing about it is that you can go back to the original soundtrack if you want to. I personally like better the original soundtrack, because the new soundtrack is a little techno, so I know this game from the original soundtrack, so I like it that you can change it, you know. But for somebody that's never played this game, that has never done the first Secret of Mana, it's a great experience that doesn't ruin the origin of the game. So let's go for it, guys. Let's create a new game. Thank you all so much for the support on the channel, guys. Thank you all so much for watching all my videos. I really appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, just make sure that you subscribe, slap that like button for me, guys, and let's play Secret of Mana.
Long ago, the world prospered and humanity thrived thanks to a power known as mana. However, humans soon sought to use mana to create the ultimate weapon, a floating battleship called the Mana Fortress. This greedy arrogance angered the gods, who in turn unleashed vicious beasts into the world. A violent war between the mana beasts in the fortress engulfed the world in poison and fire until mana had all but disappeared. In humanity's bleakest hour, a hero wielding the mana sword appeared and destroyed the fortress. The world was left in shambles, and yet humanity persevered, and there was peace throughout the land. But as time passes, so history repeats.
Hey! Guys! Wait! Up! Whoa!
Shh! Be quiet, stupid. If the Elder finds us here, we're done for.
Yeah. We're not supposed to be here. Everyone in the village knows about the ghost.
You really believe that old fib? The grown-ups just say there's a ghost to scare us away. But I did hear Grandma say she saw something shiny by the falls when she was little.
Maybe it's treasure. Let's go find it.
Help! I'm gonna fall! Whoa! Ouch! There's no way back up. Now what am I gonna do?
Alright guys, so here we are. So this is how the game starts. It started the same way on the Super Nintendo back then. Obviously we didn't get that little intro with, you know, the 3D characters. Some people complain because the characters didn't open their mouth when they were talking. Seriously? Give me a break. There's nothing wrong about it. It doesn't kill the game. It doesn't hurt the game. That's not what makes the game amazing. Now, the map is exactly the same map, which is great. I mean, they didn't change the game. They didn't change, you know, what made the game so successful. They just made it prettier. Look at the water. It's prettier than on Super Nintendo. Look at the character itself. He looks great. To me, it just looks great. The colors are, you know, charming and easy on the eyes. There's a little map now right in the corner. I can actually run in any direction. Back then, you can only run in a straight line. Okay? So this is what Secret of Mana is. This is what the game is like.
Huh?
Now you get to hear the characters' voices. I am extremely happy they came up with this game, and I don't have...
The village is this way, but I'll never get through here without a weapon.
I don't have many bad things to say about it, guys. Really, I don't.
Who are you? And what's a sword doing here? Too bright. What's with this light? Oh, ghost!
Listen. I entrust the sword to you.
Huh? What do you mean? Ugh, what's up with this sword? The light's fading already. Oh, I have to get back to the village!
So here we are, we just acquired the mana sword. So they just kept, if you look at the bottom, that gauge that goes up in percentage, you give critical hits when you reaches 100.
Whoa! What's a rabbi doing in a place like this?
Oh! Now, some other people were complaining that between sections of the map, now you have to wait. There's a loading time. We're talking about a second. We're not talking about a 10-minute loading. We're talking about a second, okay? Which is, it doesn't kill anybody, you know? Catch your breath, you know, make relieve your fingers of the control. That's what this is all about. Just a second. Now, you can attack 360 degrees around these enemies now. Back in the day, it was cardinal points. North, south, east, west. That's the only way you could actually attack the enemies. Now, I think that it makes the battles a little more challenging. So it increases, I think, the difficulty of actually defeating enemies, which is not a bad thing. You know, makes the game maybe a little bit more challenging. It's not the most difficult game, but you will have definitely times where you just lose, you know, and you'll have to start over from your saving point. I really enjoy the map in the corner, especially when you go into forests like this. Makes it easier for you to find things. So this is the new soundtrack, which is not horrible. If you want to listen to the old soundtrack, so this is the menu that you have. It hasn't changed. There is one thing though that they could have done better, which is you can control 3 characters at one point. This is your team. You become a team of 3. And anytime you open this menu, back in the day, it will open on top of the character. Now it just pops out in the middle. No big deal. It doesn't ruin the game. It was just easier on the eyes. But you get the picture in the middle of your character. So this is just a couple things that they've changed. So if we go on the options, we can go into sounds, sound source, and this is the original one. The soundtrack of this game was acclaimed and was a really good soundtrack, and we're gonna be listening to it all over again. I'll switch every now and then. So right now we gotta go back to our village, which is Poto Village, to see if our friends are there. And get to know more about the story. Now, what I recommend in this game, fight as much as you can. Don't avoid the enemies unless your health is critical. Just because you need to build up the levels on all your weapons. Switch weapons, switch magics as much as possible to make sure that your level increases in every single one of them. Oh gosh, I didn't want to do this. Anytime your character increases level, you gain your energy back up. So now we found a candy. So the candies, if you go on your menu, you can retrieve some of your health. You got a lot of different armors that you can actually equip. You won't see it on the character, like on the new games, but it will affect your defense and attack. The game, guys, is really enjoyable. It was only $30 for this game, the remastered version. And if you're into RPGs like this, to me, it's worth it. It's worth every penny of it. And I am extremely happy and excited to have the chance to replay this game. And I hope that, you know, in a few years from now, they'll remaster it again with better technology. But for right now, This is great. Obviously, you got bosses. Now, the difference between this RPG and other RPG games is that you don't fight your enemies turn by turn. The same way I was fighting with these guys is the way you fight with your bosses. So which makes the game a little faster pace. So here we are. We're in Poto Village right here. So you can actually go inside every... so this is the loading time. So you can interact with everyone.
With that sword before you hurt someone.
The dialogues are exactly the same from the original game. They didn't change anything. So here are our friends. But I'm going to explore it quickly with you guys. So this is a bar. This guy in the bar will matter in just a second. Back in the day, I didn't know about this, but you see, like, these beds is 3 because there's 3 characters at one point. You can actually restore your health by staying one night, and it will also tell you, ask you if you want to save. Well, back then, I didn't know that even if you didn't stay the night, you could actually ask him to save the game for you. So I used to spend the money and spending the night, even if my health was good. And then you got, I don't know if there's one in the Poto Village. Yes. Right here is where you can buy stuff. So you got him and you got the cat. Okay, so you'll find him in every map. The map is huge, guys, huge. So you got the candy, so to restore your health. So this is overall. This is bandana. That's just to increase your defense. This cup of wishes will actually bring you back to life, or bring one of your cameras back to life if he dies. And this is if you have, if you're poisoned. Okay, so we can actually buy one of those. You see, and you just
Anything else? Come again.
if you get poisoned by any enemies, you just quickly take it, or use it on one of your friends, and you'll stop the poison right there. So let's go and talk to the elder.
You're all right. Elliot just told me what happened. I thought you were a goner.
That's why I told you not to bring someone like him along.
You idiots. None of you were supposed to wander into that area. What's that you have there? Oh no. It couldn't be. Cool. Did you find the treasure?
Way to go!
What have you done? That's the mana sword. There's no way you could have pulled it free.
Mana sword? But legend says the village will be destroyed if it's removed.
I never thought it'd come to this. The mana sword is said to protect the village from disaster. But now... Aha! So you're the reason all those monsters are attacking us! You yanked out the sword and doomed the whole village! It's your fault, you outsider! Hey, stop! Shut up! It's all your fault!
So if you look how these characters are moving, that's how they used to move on the Super Nintendo. So they kept the core of the game. Now if you realize, Elliot said I was an outsider. We'll know more about that throughout the game. There's a lot of story.
Help! A monster! You have a sword, why don't you use it?
Alright, so here we go, guys.
Calm down and study the enemy's movement to look for an opening.
So this is the guy that was at the bar. He has a big role in our quest. So this is what's nice about it. You get to fight your enemies this way. So it's always exciting. It's never boring. This one is fairly easy. But they can get obviously harder. Oh no. Now back in the day, if you would die here, this guy would actually revive you. Let's make sure that we have 100% to make more damage. So this guy's just literally just using his magic. We'll have a lot of magic as well. And I'm really excited to see how they've improved the magic. That's it. That's the first boss. He's easy. I think there's 12 magics or 8 magics. I don't remember. All different elements. You know, you got ice, water, earth, fire. Just the usual. We got the sword orb.
You did well. Wait there. I'll pull you up.
Stay back! I didn't do nothing!
Coward.
You seem to be in possession of the real mana sword. This is troubling.
Why is that?
Legend says the sword can only be retrieved by a knight when the world is in peril. But you are far too young for such a responsibility. Something must be wrong with the mana sword.
Here, you take it.
No, I cannot. The sword has lost its power. It must be restored. Only the one who pulled it free can do that.
Then, what should I do?
Visit Sage Luca in the Water Palace. The sage has protected these lands for over 200 years. You would do well to listen to her advice.
Hey! The Elder wants you to come to his house.
I'll be off. I have duties to attend. My name is Gemma, and I'll be waiting for you at the Water Palace.
So we're gonna go and talk to the Elder, and then we'll head to the Water Palace. Talking to the Elder.
Can't ignore this!
We're at our wit's end. Who knows when another monster will appear?
Oh, it's you. You've really done it this time. That sword has protected us for years. Once you removed it, the monsters started attacking the village.
It's settled. We can't let him stay in the village anymore. He'll just bring more monsters.
Go!
Get out of here!
Yeah, leave him now.
I don't want to do this, but I have no choice. I banish you from this village.
So we are banished from Poto Village.
There's a treasure chest downstairs. Take the contents and be on your way.
Just go get the chest. So as you could tell,
Going somewhere?
the graphics are not, you know, pushing the PS4 performance. But for a game like this, honestly, it does not matter.
I took you in as a child, but there's nothing more I can do for you. Forgive me. You wouldn't remember. You were just a baby, but I was there when your mother first came to this village. After she disappeared, I did my best to raise you. But today is the day we must part ways. I hope that you find your mother again someday. Goodbye.
Aw. So we can roam around the village just before we leave, but once we leave this place, we are banned. We will not be able to come back. So let's go right here. Nope. Save the game? Yes. Oh, I already saved it. Let's do a second save, I guess. So guys, I'm gonna stop the video right here. If you enjoy this, just make sure you leave a like, guys. I love this game. I really, really do. And if you like, you know, RPGs that are not too complex and nice stories, this is an amazing game that is worth playing, guys. It's a really, really good game. Don't listen to the critics. You know, if you play a game, play it because you like it, not because somebody else said it was a good game. Okay, so thank you all so much for watching, guys. Thank you all so much for the support. Make sure you slap that like button for me, guys. Subscribe if you're new. And guys, stay fabulous as always, and I'll see you on my next video.